has sex with somebody and the condom slips off, she can possibly be pregnant. He needs to.
Wait, Star.
Yeah.
Are you saying what I think you're saying? So wait, did you take a pregnancy test?
Yeah, I got double lines on 3 of them.
Oh, so wait, Star, you're pregnant by Polo?
Maybe like somewhere in my teenage years with my stepdad. I don't even want to talk about that shit. But yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something, Star. Sometimes it's really healing to just talk about it.
Yeah.
And just get it on out. What did you think about him getting back with Gabby and everything else?
Oh, well, that's a good question. The thing is, so it's nobody else.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Wow, so we don't even need to do a paternity test for this one.
At all.
So hold on, you got the test?
And I said I didn't want a boyfriend. I said I didn't want to be on the Atlanta Street interviews because it might get on some messy stuff. And
here we are.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Star, this was a jam-packed interview. I did not expect all this. What's up, YouTube? So, guys, we got merch. Make sure you go to AtlantaStreetInterviews.com and grab one of the newest drops. The merch is popping, so make sure you go get it now. AtlantaStreetInterviews.com. If you love the channel, or if you just like the message, Homeless Lives Matter, we all have a story. Or I love Atlanta Street Interviews. Go right now, AtlantaStreetInterviews.com. Get one for your auntie, your mama, your sister, your cousin, your brother, your nephew, your frenemy. Get one for everybody. AtlantaStreetInterviews.com. Go cop the merch. Now, back to the content. What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews. Out here with an update, guys.
Wagwan with ya.
So hold on. I want to know Wagwan. You Yardy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm a Geechee girl.
Okay, because you know I just came back from Jamaica last week.
Okay, well, that's what's up.
So you talking about Wagwan.
That's me, man. I'm from the Geechee girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Star, we know you from, being with Polo and everything else, but I want to get to know a little bit more about you, but then I also want to talk about some of the stuff going on. Okay?
All right.
So first and foremost, how old are you, Star?
35.
Star, are you 35?
Yes, I'm born 1990.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So cause you have such a mature vibe.
I always dated older guys. My exes are like 80 now.
What?
They about to die.
Okay.
And they still want me, and I ain't got time.
Okay. Second, Star, do you have abs?
I do. That's why I've been carrying all this stuff on my back and holding these shit. And everybody was looking like,
I don't think I realized how fit you are.
Listen, I was preparing to kick ass if I needed to because I live outside, which I already could, but I needed the extra muscle for that.
I get it. Okay, so 35. How long have you been homeless, Star?
Since the beginning of a court case back home pertaining my child, and
how long has that been?
3 years.
3 years. And where's back home?
Back home is in South Carolina.
Okay, so yeah, the Geechee, all right? Yep. I love it. Okay, man, I'll tell you what, I love that Geechee just energy and the beautiful skin and just the culture.
People,
I tell you what. So, okay, because I couldn't hear the Geechee in your accent, so that's why I couldn't probably recognize it.
Well, this is it. I'm born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina, but my family is all from Brooklyn. So I talk like them and a little
you got
bit
like
of
a little mix, yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay, I get it.
So I'm a Southern Yankee, that's what I call myself.
A Southern Yankee. I love it.
That's what I am.
Okay. A Yankee Geechee, a Geechee Yankee. I don't know, something like that. Okay, so long story short, do you have any kids?
Just my one daughter so far, and then I wasn't really planning on speaking about it, but only because I want to be different than the last situation Polo had. He probably should try and reach out to see what's going on.
Wait, hold on.
With his girlfriend that he asked to be his girlfriend.
Wait.
Because when you have sex with somebody and the condom slips off, she can possibly be pregnant. He needs to.
Wait, Star.
Yeah.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
That I need to be confirming a pregnancy from this man who asked me to be his boyfriend.
So wait, did you take a pregnancy test?
Yeah, I got double lines on 3 of them.
Oh, so wait, Star, you're pregnant by Polo?
That's the only person I was with last. And this is the thing, for a fact, it was 2 months before he even touched me.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's nobody else.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Wow, so we don't even need to do a paternity test for this one.
At all.
So hold on, you got the test?
And I wasn't even planning on making it a big deal like that.
And you took that test already?
I did.
Does it have the double lines on it?
It's on and off. So my thing is this. It's so early because it was only a month ago me and him just had sex. I got three tests with double lines, and then these two it don't show, but you can get a false negative and you can get false positive.
Yeah, you can.
So I'm gonna go to the doctor and stuff because my period only lasted for 2 days. That just went off on the 19th, which is yesterday. It started on the 17th.
So you had got a period, but it was very light.
It was lighter than the usual. So my period usually lasts like 4 days. It was only 2 days, the 17th to the 19th. Today's the 20th.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to know you a little more. Wow. I'm still like kind of processing this information. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, it's a whole lot.
At least this time he'll be able to know a lot sooner, and he won't necessarily have the excuse of, he didn't know and stuff like that. So I'm sure he'll see this if he hasn't, talked to you by the time this video drops.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, speaking of Polo, what did you think about him getting back with Gabby and everything else?
Oh, well, that's a good question. The thing is, before me and him even started talking, I said to him, being that it's kind of a new situation, I think that I suggested it's okay if you still want to communicate with other females you had before me, because I don't expect you to just drop every friend you had and be committed to a new person.
Right.
So he had the freedom and the option to still hang with his gal friends and decide who he wanted to be with, on some solid shit. But instead of doing that, the last time we saw each other, I haven't heard from him. And so he's with Gabby as far as what I was told, and that's fine, but why lie if I told you had permission to figure out what you want to do?
Huh.
That's stupid. So now my boyfriend has a girlfriend, and his girlfriend got a boyfriend that got a girlfriend that's pregnant possibly.
Oh shit.
And I didn't ask to be a part of this shit. You saw me trying to not be a part of this.
Well, so let me ask, because Gabby on her last interview said that she was kind of like, well, STARR was around, so she felt like if you was around, why didn't you just like admit or own up to the fact that you wanted Polo?
I never did. I didn't want to date him. That was my baby daddy's friend. That's how I met Polo.
Wait, for real?
Timmy, Tim with the dreads that looked like Polo? Tim, I met Polo through my baby dad.
Hey, how you doing, miss?
How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, I met Tim through my daughter's dad. I never would go and mess with that's like family right there, even though me and Tim ain't dating.
I was about to say Tim. I don't think I know who Tim is.
Well, he called himself Timski the Don. He rap and stuff, but...
Okay, you say he got dreads like Polo?
Yeah, no, his dreads is long.
Longer?
Like, he kind of look like Lil Jon or Quavo. One of them. He look like both of them mixed together.
Okay. So I'm sure I might have seen him out here, but just don't know him by name or whatever. So, okay.
So I never,
so Tim was the friend to your baby daddy, not Polo.
So yeah, Tim, which is my baby daddy, that already got a kid.
Tim is the baby daddy.
Right. I got a 5-year-old with Tim. We're best friends with a baby.
Okay.
I met Polo through Tim because they were chilling. They are just alike. They like to drink, they party and shit. They are the same person.
So is Tim still out here too?
Bodies. No, I think he went back elsewhere or with a family member.
Because then, who is your daughter with if he was out here hanging out and stuff?
Well, she is with my parents, and I don't want to elaborate too much about that. But long story short, the start of that court case is why I was homeless, because they put me in cuffs and removed me from the house, saying I didn't see something that I got a picture of, which is damage to my daughter's body that I saw somebody do. But they're trying to say I did it.
What?
Yeah, I caught the person who has custody of my daughter using my mouthpiece of my vape in her vagina, and she had tears in her vagina. So I called DSS. Then the police came, and they took me away, even though I said I saw it.
You say you had pictures?
I got pictures of the tears in her vagina.
But why did they think that you did it?
Because the person who had, I've been going up against is a sworn-in officer of the law, so they didn't want to go against.
Is it a family member?
Yeah.
Like your dad?
I don't want to say, because it's kind of embarrassing. I don't want to make it bigger and worse than it is, because I already been grilling their ass for what they did behind my back. They literally, this is what happened. When I caught her doing that, it was because they panicked because they've been selling my child. And when I found out, they knew I was going to say something about it, because why would I not protect my child? So, being that I was going to say something about it, they had to find a way to blackmail me and shit like that, and using my DNA to rape her is going to shut me up if they go do an exam and find my DNA in her body. So I left home, and I did not flee. I am not a fleeing criminal. I'm somebody who's protecting themselves, because if I was in jail because they set me up, I can't help her anyway. So I left. So that's what's going on. And they try to bring it here with Atlanta Police Department.
Has there been like any mental illness diagnosis or anything like that?
Yeah, delusions, but until I had the picture of the delusions. Then they let me out the psychiatry unit. So they cannot say I'm mentally unstable on no
How
level.
long were you in the psychiatry unit?
Like 8 days.
8 days, okay.
I did therapy, counseling, and psychiatry. I have discharge papers from all of them. There's nothing wrong with me mentally.
So, if I ask your parents, what would they say is the reason that you don't have custody of your child?
Well, she's gonna say, I don't want to say, that person's going to say that it was my fault, that I did that to my child, but I saw her doing it. That's the thing. That's what she's gonna say.
What up, man? Yes, sir.
But it's impossible for you to say that I did that when immediately after I saw you do it and you were running away from her with the vape. What I did was I turned on my camera phone and I recorded everything. I said, come on, Charlie. I grabbed her hand and I walked downstairs and I kept the camera recording. I'm in the bathroom wiping her because what happened is she pooped because pressure was applied inside of her, with the vape.
Right.
It was one of those pin ones, not like these.
Okay.
So they used that. All right. So she pooped. I went in the bathroom wiping her and she's jumping back like this, like something's hurting her. So after that, I said, well, come on, let me wipe you and lay you down on the bed to see why you're jumping like that. And then when I lay her down, I wiped the soft poop out the way, which I just changed her pull-up before she went up there to her. She had a fresh pamper. So for her to poop and stuff like that, I started picking up on things. I said, every time I take her to this person, she got shit in her pamper. And I just changed her. So she been ripping her. So long story short, back to that, I wiped the poop out of the way and I see these slices in her vagina. I'm on video recording me doing all this. I got this shit. So ain't no maybe. You cannot say I did some shit. I turned on the camera to make sure you couldn't say I did. And then I gasped. And I said, where the fuck did these come from? Because they were not here. I just changed her pamper and took her up there. And then I brought her back down, wiped that out the way, and I see that it was you all this time. I refused to believe who it was because it's somebody who you would really trust to take care of your child on the caliber of your grandma. That's why I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. It's like, I know it ain't that person. Somebody got to be coming in this house doing it. So even on the court documents, that's what it says.
So I'm going to ask just to be definitive, right? Because if they would say that you did it, do they have evidence or do they, why would they say that you did it?
Because she's an officer and they don't want to convict her. But I got evidence showing she did, so I don't care what they say.
So you're talking about she, so you're talking about your mom?
I don't want to elaborate too deeply. I'm going to just say she.
Huh.
But I can show that.
And so I'm going to ask, again, just to be definitive.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything to your daughter?
At all. And on top of that, when police came, she said, there's cameras. Matter of fact, no, on the phone. Because they record police calls, don't they? Mm-hmm. So on the phone, when we review evidence, because that's what I'm waiting on them to do. You know what I mean? Somebody who did something ain't itching for a judge to review evidence. But anyways, on the phone, she told them before they came to the house, there's cameras in the house everywhere. So when they arrived, why did you tell them there's no cameras? I wanted her to roll the tapes. Not one fucking time of my child's lifespan.
How long has it been since then?
This is going on year number 3. October 2nd, 2022 is the day that I got handcuffed and taken away from my daughter.
And how long were you wherever you was?
What
you got handcuffed and taken to jail?
To the psychiatry
unit. Okay,
unit.
so that was to the psychiatry unit.
Because they couldn't say I did it because they know I did not. They knew she did it.
Okay, so you didn't get charged with any type of child sex or anything like that crime? Okay, okay. Wow, I didn't know that all that was going on.
Yeah, that's why I kind of was trying to stay to myself and just focus and get things in order for me.
So so let me ask, when, I would say if, but I found it to be when your parents inevitably see this video, what do you think their thoughts and their reactions are going to be?
Well, she's going to be angry, but the thing is, I was going to be mad too if I was in jail or the psychiatry unit for the rest of my life. And you didn't care about that. They threw me away like trash.
So let's real quick.
I'm
let's
not sorry.
Let's start from the beginning. So you say you from Charleston, South Carolina?
Yep.
Shout out that Charleston, man.
We'll go
Shout out that
Charleston,
whole Geechee culture.
843.
Shout out the whole South Cac all day, man.
Yes,
all right, so growing up in Charleston, did you have both mom and dad in the household? Like, was it a 2-parent household?
I did at first, up until like 11 years old.
11?
Yeah.
And so growing up, would you say you had like a fairly normal childhood?
Yeah, it was normal.
Good childhood, did all the regular stuff. At 11, when they split, how did that affect you?
Well, you know, I don't really know. I don't remember how I felt or anything like that.
But did like any acting out start or anything like that?
No, I think I was just a normal kid. I just used to go outside and play and come back in. I barely got in trouble ever. Like in school, I never got in no trouble at school.
So like you end up like going to high school, stuff like that?
I never got in no trouble.
Okay, graduated high school?
I didn't. I left, but I went and got my GED.
Okay, what grade did you get to in high school? What was the highest?
I think I was about to go to 11th grade. Yeah, I was like in 11th or about to go to 11th grade.
Okay. So right off the bat, I'm going to ask, right? A kid that didn't used to get in trouble, stuff like that, why'd you end up dropping out of high school?
I was tired of school. First of all, they wake me up early and then starve me and it's cold. I didn't want to be there. I was waiting till 18 to drop out. I'm telling you now, I said, boy, I can't wait till I turn 18. So I can get the hell out of
when
this.
you dropped out of school at, sounds like 15, 16 or whatever, or maybe 17, but 16, 17 or whatever. When you dropped out, what did you do with your day? Like when you would have been at school, what was you doing instead?
Well, this is the thing. When I dropped out, well, this is how, let me put this in for you. I failed twice, so I was already 2 years older than the age 15 or 16. So I was already like 18, probably going on 19 in the 11th grade. Okay. So I went to
like
work,
leaving,
you know, and then later on I worked on my GED. I went to college for like business administration and stuff like that. I didn't finish, but I got some things, you know. Okay. And I want to finish that too.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and ask. When you were younger, did anything like ever happen to you or anything like that?
Yeah, I've been introduced to inappropriate behavior as a child. But
what age did that start?
I cannot even tell you, because all I can tell you is I remember having a lot of basically the stuff that I saw my daughter doing that let me know that she was exposed to sexual activity is what I used to do. And I used to get in trouble for it.
So we're talking about pretty
young
young when this stuff was happening.
Yeah, so I'm like, now everything is coming together. I'm like, so who did something to me?
What age was the last age that you can remember anything like that ever happening to you?
Maybe like somewhere in my teenage years with my stepdad. I don't even want to talk about that. But yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something, Star. Sometimes it's really healing to just talk about it.
Yeah.
And just get it on out. You say your stepdad when you was a teenager? So was that a one-time thing or was that like an ongoing thing?
He was grooming me. He was getting me prepared for sex. But when he was about to initiate it, I panicked and ran out of the room.
What was he doing to groom you?
I remember him just talking around people, like his homeboys, whenever we would do little simple things like go to the gas station and get snacks or something. If we by ourselves, he'd be like, ooh, them men over there, they're going to say I got a fine little girlfriend and this and that. And I didn't say anything. I just looked at him and I'm like, why are you saying that? That was the first thing. And then there was this one other time he came and put his arms around me while I was at the stove cooking. And then there was another situation where, the last situation where I was in the house, he called me. I came all the way to the other side of the trailer. This my room, that's my mom and stepdad's room. And I went in, I didn't even go in. I stood at the door and I said, yes. And he was like, come here. I'm like, my mom ain't here. She raised me to not, be inappropriate or even give a man a reason to do some shit to you or look inviting. Right. So long story short, I was like, yes. And I stood at the threshold of the door. And he was like, come here. And I stood closer, but I didn't go to the bed. And he said, come here. And I went to the bed and I sat like literally on the corner like this.
Right on the edge,
and I didn't want to fucking, like, what do you want? Right. And then when I sat on the corner of the bed, he came and he scooted his legs up around me like this and put his arms and tried to like feel me up. But I grabbed a knife and I ran in the room like a big ass knife. And I ran in my room and I called my mom, and I really couldn't even talk because I was in shock. You know how a frog gets in your throat?
Yeah.
It was just like me trying to say something, but the words weren't coming out.
And so what was the result of that?
They spoke about it, and then she married him. And from then on, I think he told her that I'm the one who initiated that. That's what I think. Because why would she marry him?
Huh. So you told her, what was her initial response? That she was going to talk to him about it or whatever?
Yeah, she said that they were going to talk about it, and they did. It was him, her, and my sister, and I don't know what happened. I remember what they told me he said, or something about, like, that's what they do, and they, not in their family, but, like, it was okay, probably so acceptable to certain people in their family, so he was scarred from it being okay. But as an adult, you have a decision after 18. There's no excuse. You're a knowledgeable adult. You know you shouldn't be touching kids.
So, are they still together to this day?
Nah.
Okay, so they're not together no more.
No.
Okay.
But
okay.
I'm going to tell you this. I did forgive him for that because I don't carry hate around in my heart. You know what I mean? And I can't stay mad about something that's already over with.
I'll tell you
All
what.
I can do is grow up and move on and protect my kid from ever letting something.
You say
like
that because did you ever get a chance to talk to him about that?
Nah, I didn't ever get to talk to him about it.
But you feel like he said that you were the initiator?
Yeah, because why would she marry him? And then on another note, he said he was trying to explain to me what sex was before he tried to do it with me. I remember him telling me, "Star, do you know what love is?" He said, "Love is a feeling you get in your chest. And something about it migrates down to the, men genitalia, and then there's this white stuff that comes out of a man's penis like spit."
Lord.
So he was preparing me to understand that he's going to do something to ejaculate on me.
Huh.
And she knew all this, and she still married him and chose dick and money over me.
Well, does she think that, does she think that you initiated it? Meaning that, is that what she actually believes?
She never said that, but her actions made me think that.
Okay, yeah, you say she married him, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to circle back around.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're fairly sure that you're pregnant?
I can't say that. Because
Can't
this
say
is
it 100%,
another thing.
but
the reason why, and this is another thing, this is why I try not to get pregnant in this situation, because I'm high risk when I am, and I have a short cervix. So if the average woman's cervix is this long and the baby's sitting on top of it, mine is this long. So with all the walking and carrying things, I'm gonna miscarry. I'm not gonna have it. So I gotta figure out if I am before something happens. Other than that, it's gonna fall out on this concrete, and I'm just being blunt with you. And if he cared, he would have found out. Other than through video.
Well, I mean, so, well, he said that because I asked him, where's STARR? Where's STARR been? He was he said something about how when he was locked up, a shooting happened at the park, and you told him that you wasn't gonna be coming back out there. I
told him that everybody at the park wasn't really chilling like that before. First of all, because they said we can't have blankets on the ground, and I'm not laying on no raw ass grass. Right. So I stopped sitting out there in the park, Right. And then after that, when he was in there, I told him, I said, somebody had a shooting or something. So I'm glad he wasn't out there, because who knows if he was hanging over there, because he'd be over there with the people, if something could have happened to you. So I think that you being in jail was a divine intervention. That's what I told him.
I tell you what. Okay, that's what you told him.
It might have been scary in there, but who knows what would have happened to you if you was over there with your friends. That's what I said.
So, since you haven't ran into him or whatever, just talk to him now. Talk to him through the camera. Tell him whatever it is you want to tell Polo.
Well, I'm not mad at you. I do know that you're back with your girlfriend who was your girlfriend for a year and some change, but I just wish you would have been honest and said that's what you were going to do, because you and everybody knows that I told you had that option. And if you were a friend to me, you would have never tried to make me look stupid the way you're trying to do it. But on the opposite end of that, it makes you look a little crazy to come out here on this video stuff and ask me to be your girlfriend and stake claim and say that you're not faking or anything like that, and then go backwards.
Would you have been okay if he would have just dated both of y'all? Right,
yeah, because this is the thing. He was with her for a long time and he just met me. So I can't expect
So
you
you
to
feel
commit.
like he could have blended it in, been
and-
truthful about it.
Yes, and so therefore, if me and her see each other with him chilling one day, it's not a problem.
Right.
Because I'm not fighting over
Would you
no
have
man.
like done threesomes and stuff like that?
Oh no, I don't like women at all.
Okay, so no coup de cat for you. Okay, got you.
No.
Okay, wow.
Ain't no beef. All he had to do was be fucking honest. You know? I
tell
just
you
wish
what.
as a friend he did that instead of trying to make me look stupid on this shit. When I said I didn't want a boyfriend, I said I didn't want to be on the Atlanta Street interviews because it might get on some messy stuff. And
Here we are.
yeah. See,
Here we are. Here we are.
And people were
As
already,
messy as it gets.
Yeah, and people were already saying, no, one person I saw in the comments say, STARR finally said something, yay. And I was like, good, because they see I was trying to stay honest.
Right.
And look what bringing me into it did. So if it's like you created
I think
all
the
this
people
stuff.
liked how you and Polo's energy was and how Polo was when he was with you. He seemed to be like more chill, a little bit more in his mature vibes when he was with you, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what the people used to be like, Team STARR for
Right.
that purpose. And just your energy. You have this classic lady energy. That's why I thought you was actually a little bit older.
No.
Right?
that
So
time.
yeah, so
But you know what? I'm going to say this. I always try to be, how about this? Let me start from the beginning. Anybody in your life, first of all, you're supposed to elevate and help each other be better. Whoever, if you in their life or they in yours.
yeah, absolutely.
However it happens, vice versa.
Mutual elevation.
And if you're not benefiting each other, and I ain't talking about money or nothing like that.
Right.
You can be helping a person build themselves up from the inside out.
Correct.
You know, giving them constructive criticism.
That's more
instead of-
valuable than money.
Yeah, instead of judging them. Because I already had somebody like Polo before, which is my baby daddy, Tim. That's the same person in a different body. So I didn't judge him about drinking. I said, well, you like to drink, that's cool, but just maybe moderate it or something. You know, instead of having a whole case or something, just sip one, wait a few hours. Sip one, you know, and he was doing that because he wanted to do it. I was just suggesting it. But what I did not want to do is force him to change himself to be with me. So that's why I let him go and didn't look for him. I want you to do what you rather want to do, because you're going to do it anyway in the middle of a 10-year relationship possibly, and I don't wait and I forced you to do some shit you didn't want to do, and you're going to go do it, and I'm going to be disappointed. So I wanted him to do whatever he wanted to do.
So you set yourself up to not be disappointed.
Right.
By giving people leeway and stuff like that.
And just being honest with me, because I don't like to set nobody up to let them down, and I don't like nobody to do that to me.
I'll tell you what, STARR, this was a jam-packed interview. I did not expect all this. I tell you what, I don't ask for it, but it comes, and I'm thankful to be a part of just being able to broadcast and everything else. So listen, on that note, if anybody out there did want to reach out, help, or donate, do you have a way for them to do that? Do you have social media, Cash App, anything like that?
Yeah, my Cash App is the THE name NAME brand BRAND 007. So 2 zeros and a 7.
Okay.
The name brand 007.
All right. Any Instagram, Facebook, anything like that?
The same exact thing.
Okay.
Instagram, YouTube,
Name
Bad
brand
Lab, Rap
007.
Fame, all that.
All right. Well,
I
listen,
do
STARR.
everything. Y'all will find out soon too.
I was about
I
to
got my
say.
own everything, studio and all that. I'm gonna drop on you, fear not.
Hey, drop on us now.
Lyrically
Listen.
too.
STARR, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Definitely wish you nothing but the best, all right?
Yes, sir.
Make sure you have a good one, sweetie.
And I thank you.
All right.
That was cool.